Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unplugged podcast where we have unscripted conversations about everything. I am Nosa, and this is
I am God Sense. It's nice to be
okay.
back on set with you.
Thank you so much, Godson.
Yeah.
So, today we're going to be talking about something very important.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about money. What is like the $1,000,000 topic?
Exactly.
So, we just reason that many times, especially in this time that we are in, money is one thing that money is the most
money is the
prevalent
conversation.
topic. Money is the conversation. Yes,
Exactly.
every young person, every old person, everybody.
Everybody wants to know about
Everybody
money.
wants to this thing called money.
Yeah.
And really, it's most of the conversations we have. Look at even our world, the songs that we sing,
Exactly.
everything. At least you must hear out of 10 songs, like 6 or 7, the guy's talking about either how he wants money or how he has money.
Exactly.
But money is a very important topic, and it's a discussion that will always come up.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
always come up.
So I we just felt that it would be very nice to talk about this money today. And just like we were talking a moment ago about the fact that the concept of money in itself, it can be very vague.
Yeah, because everybody chases after money. But not everybody really. What exactly is it? Some of us know it as the paper currency we use around. Some of us know it as naira. Some of us know it as dollar, pounds,
Exactly.
yen. Some of us know it as cryptocurrency, bitcoins, and all of that. And these are the things we leave our houses for every day.
Every day.
Yeah. So, and if you look back at the history of money, you see that money has evolved over time. So for us now, it's currencies, it's naira, it's fiat currencies currently. So, and this is our drive for most people, like you said. What exactly is money? This is our drive. This is all we chase after.
If we're able to go back to the history of what money is, now, like you mentioned, money is what we call fiat currency. So that's physical currency, paper.
Yeah.
Although now we have digital currencies, we have cryptocurrency and like.
Yeah.
But at least if I remember social studies correctly?
Okay, yeah, in primary school.
I remember we were taught about how the whole idea is that basically money is supposed to be a medium of exchange.
Exactly.
So in the olden times, it was trade by barter. I have a goat, you have a yam. The goat is to eat yam, but you can be like, we exchange.
Yeah.
And everybody had something that they will always be able to use to exchange for something else.
Yeah.
But it got to a point that people cannot be carrying everything they need to exchange. Even in our own African settings, at the time they had things like cowries and all that. Of course, in other places it was gold.
They use beads.
And they use beads. So at the time they were even using, I think, ivory tusks and all that. But the basic points that we know that we transcend time, and in everything we're going to talk about in our discussion, is that money is a way to trap value.
Exactly.
So it has always been a way for people to be able to, instead of me to be carrying my goat under my hand everywhere I'm going.
I'm looking for who needs goats.
And I'm not looking for who needs goats so that I can collect, So I had to just create a way and say, okay, we have to come together and say, this is one thing that can carry the value of everything that we have and find a way to, exchange. So it's something that is mobile, something that was somehow maybe valuable in itself.
Yeah. Money is one of those topics that we don't discuss. So, one of those common things that everybody, we do it, we use it, we interact with it every day, but we don't discuss it. We use money every day, and money itself is a very technical subject. It's very technical. You can look at it from the side of the different type of money, fiat currency, all sorts of forms of it. But coming down to the crux of the matter, that every form of money is a way to preserve value.
Yeah.
Because as long as man is on earth, man is carrying out activities on the earth, and those activities are is geared at producing value, supposedly to make life better for other men or for yourself also. So there must be a way to account for your work.
Yeah.
You are a farmer, you'll be farming all the year.
But what do you show for?
Yes, how do you show your work? You have been a doctor. How do you show for your? So there must be a way for us to account for your worth, for your work. So you need a store of value. Then you need that value to also get the things you cannot do by yourself. Yeah. So basically, that's money. Money is a container to store value. Then it's also a means of exchange. I exchange. I'm a doctor. I exchange what I do for what you are ready to give me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
So,
like you said, now you're a doctor. Not everybody needs surgery, or not everybody needs.
Exactly.
Can I work on your leg so that you can give me food or something? So there has to be something like a lingua franca in the economic world. Well, I don't want us to bore people with a lot of these are technicalities and concepts.
Yeah.
So because the idea is that we're trying to be practical. We want to be able to bring this thing down to everyday life, you know. But I feel like, should we go into our, the whole movie, everything conversation we wanted to have? Okay, because earlier today we actually seen a movie.
Yeah.
And the name of the movie is In Time, from 2011. I think Justin Timberlake and Cillian Murphy were the lead characters in the movie, and all. And the concept of the movie is very nice, because it kind of had a way of capturing part of the things we were trying to capture, in the sense that they were exchanging time literally as money. Because one very popular saying we know, time is money. Time is money. And many times we just carry those kind of expressions. Time is, everybody just says time is money.
We don't exactly
we
know
don't really
how.
know what it means. We don't know how.
Because if you watch when we're seeing the movie, we immediately felt the cost of life, or the cost of living.
Exactly.
So I think there was a time where he was trying to book a hotel, and it was going to cost him, was it 2 months of his life?
Yeah, I think it was 2 months.
2 months of his life.
So for those who have not seen the movie, the idea is this. Yeah. Everybody has a timer on their hand that counts the amount of time they have. Yeah. So they don't have money in the bank. Yeah. That thing is what they used to pay. Yeah. So they are literally paying for everything. So I remember one time when the guy went somewhere and they were like, he had to pay for the time. I think it was like a year. Yeah. And we're like, oh boy, this is real, because that's 1 year of life that guy will not live. Yeah. And in that movie, time was literally money. So for instance, if somebody ran out of time, the person just died. Yeah. And of course, that was a stretch and very extreme. But we're just thinking and we're like, it's not too far from the truth.
It's not too far from reality. You want to bring farm produce to the market. It's a whole year worth of work like that is represented by the yams you brought, or by the farm produce you bring. So when you are spending the money you got from those things, you are spending the time.
You're literally spending your life. You're literally spending your life.
You're spending your life. Yeah. So when someone says, I spent 25 years in that company, you spend 25 years of your life. Wow. Because life is measured in time. Life is measured in time. So when you say, I'm 20 years old, I'm 50 years old, your life is measured in time. So value is expensive because we cannot replace the time we've spent. Yeah. Time is finite.
We always ask, how much can you pay for somebody's time?
Yes. So if every one of us recognize that we have value in ourselves, even just our time, we'll invest more in ourselves.
Where we're even trying to go, first of all, we why this conversation was even important for us was that, first of all, we wanted to be able to distill the difference between money in itself as an external source of value, and what value is. Because what we have generally is people ready to give everything to have some amount of money. Yes. And what you give for something is dependent on the value you place on that thing. Yeah. So if I give myself for something, it means I feel like maybe I am worth the equivalent amount of this thing. Yeah. So why we were saying, for instance, that we didn't feel like that movie was far from real life is because of many of the concepts that we saw. Yeah. So for instance, somebody had 18 hours on his, maybe his time account or something. Yeah. And a day has 24 hours. So that means that person doesn't even have up to a day. So first of all, but we're not like, this guy will know only 80 hours you get. You're not going to sleep for 8 hours. Even when people are telling you, you need 8 hours to sleep, like, bro, I only have 12 hours. Because you understood the value of that time. Yeah. And we're trying to say that this is actually what happens. So for instance, you could see people in that movie now that the guy has like maybe 18 hours. The guy makes sure he goes to work early. He gets there so that he can clock in enough time to leave to the next day. Yeah. But in real life, that's what's happening. Yeah. Many times people are just going to work just enough to survive, to have for the next day. And in that same movie, we saw they went to a place and people were gambling and were gambling. The guy was like, he was going to bet 50 years of his life.
Yeah.
As much as those concepts are sounding very outrageous, they are real.
Yeah.
In the sense that you could just see the juxtaposition of what time and money is. And we were really talking about how we really want to, bring the like call it the parallel between time, people's time and money.
And why this is important is we're still looking at, we always refer back to our setting in Africa and all of that. Yeah. The fact that because of the way life has evolved, we are forgetting some of these fundamentals. So money is just this utopia that everybody just trying to reach out to. We just want to get money. We are forgetting that I have to be producing a value. So I think this the whole goal of this is to answer questions for many persons, because the questions always out there. What do I do to make money? What do I do to get this money? What do I do to get this money? Basically, what we are trying to say is, what do you have that is valuable? That's the crux of the matter. What do you have that is valuable? And this question is usually...
We don't want it to look too motivational speechy.
Most persons are scared of this question. When you just say, what value do you have? Everybody... It's a very unsettling question.
What's kidda? What can I do?
So what can I do? What can you do? What can you produce? So everybody, well, I went to school, I have a degree, and all of that. So, but value, many times we are also relying on the external, like we're saying.
Yeah.
We're always relying on the external. We're relying on the school. We're relying on people to validate,
certify you and validate that you are valuable.
That you have this value. Value is free.
Yeah.
And value comes with you.
Yeah.
In fact, many of us feel like we don't have something valuable. But naturally, we are always endowed with giftings.
Yeah.
And those things in themselves are valuable. And many times, the human systems that we have built around us do not appreciate this value that we have. For example, when you're in school and you're given a report sheet, the teacher can say things like...
I brought my primary 2 report sheet recently. Teacher came and said, he talks too much. And I was laughing. I'm like, but that's what I do now. I just talk.
He talks too much.
Yeah.
So this value is... What makes something valuable is that somebody else appreciates it. So it could even be that you're lazy. Because many times, what value is in the fact that someone else appreciates it. It's just when they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Somebody can be so lazy and decide that I will find easier way of making things get done.
Yeah.
There's this story of this housewife.
Okay.
She was a stay-at-home wife. And she invented some of these motorized sweeping gadgets.
Because she was too lazy to sweep.
She didn't want to go through all the stress of having to sweep, mop, and all of that. So she started thinking. So many of the things we even call flaws. You talk too much, you are lazy, those things can be transferred. As far as someone else is willing to exchange, there are people that are life of the party. They tell you that you're too noisy, you're too... But these are people that you need them. Some people employ these people.
You know why what you're saying is very instrumental. I believe it's because many times the things that are the easiest things to us are the things that we look down on.
Yes, we don't see them.
Because of how easy... I remember the first time, because I draw. I also draw. I do graphic design and all that. The first time I was drawing, somebody came to meet me and said, you are very good. No, there's really nothing there.
You want to be...
I want to be Picasso, I want to be Michelangelo, which is not bad. But the issue was that because of how easy it was coming to me, I was finding it hard to believe that other people were appreciating what I had. And many times that's most people's problem. They actually have what they need. But it's the thing that comes easy to them. They're looking at what somebody else has. That guy can do this.
I wish.
But imagine a bed, everything that makes something unique is usually what is easy for them. Birds fly effortlessly. Try it. Jump from upstairs. The bird is making it look easy. Mastery makes things look easy. So the fact that you are able to effortlessly do something, so that's what I think you're trying to say, that value usually comes with those things that come naturally.
Pushing for more examples. Talking.
Yes, talking.
Some people cannot stand talking.
That's true.
They see like it's stressful. There are people that are antisocial, and someone talking just comes to someone naturally. and we try to clamp that and force people into modes.
Into a mode, everybody
Force
was
people
there.
into modes. It's even now there are different career paths that have been coming up because some people just dare to
There's there to venture.
into those paths. And like we were saying in the last podcast or the other podcast we shot the other time, once we have these trailblazers, everybody starts pushing in
starts
with that
entering those
level
fields
of
because somebody has done
competitive-
it.
with competition, everybody just trying to get a share of that thing. There was a time where being a footballer was nothing valuable. If you come home and tell your parents that
Yeah, like
I want
we
to be
were
a
saying the other
footballer or I
time.
want to be a comedian, they would tell you that their enemies have come. You want to bring disgrace to this family, all those kind of things. But now these are things that parents are even encouraging their children, and that's where parenting also come about in this whole thing about money. Many times, this whole education about money, we don't get it.
Yeah, not even from home.
Not even from home, not even from school.
You just say, Mom, I want to buy this seed. Do we have money tree in this house?
Exactly. There's no education per se on money. You are just put into a system. The idea is that when you graduate, you get a
Get a
degree.
job.
You exchange your certification
Yes.
for money.
For money.
Yeah, and that is
That's not even a fair trade.
It's not even. It's
After
not,
going to school for how many years of my
yes,
life?
and it's not even spelled out to you.
Yes.
You have already gone a far extent before you even realize that, this is actually what we are trying to do. Some people are in school, some people are in higher institutions, and don't even know that this is exactly
You know,
what
there's a way I used
they
to calculate
bargained
that
for.
in 6 years of primary school, 6 years of university education,
6 years of secondary
6 years of secondary education, like that.
Yeah, 4
Like 4
years.
years of university
Yeah.
education. Then after everything, I'll now come out with certificates to be paid 250,000 naira. When you come out, it sounds like big money, but when you really reason it, by the time you calculate all the amount
Before
of
you
money,
even break even.
all the food you ate in break time from primary school as a child, how much are you going to use to break? If it was an investment, it will not be wise.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
the school need to do more in educating. Even parents, as your children are going to school, they must understand that apart from what you're learning in school, because I feel for me, one of the greatest things you learn in school is how to interact with other human beings.
True.
How to interact with the whole system we've set up, money, language, and all of that. But parents must let their children understand that you have value, and you don't just have one value. School is going to train you in a profession.
In a profession. It's
have
part
skills,
process.
you have skill sets, you have giftings, variety of giftings. I feel like there are very few human beings that just have one gifting.
yes.
I think that's also a major assumption that everybody that's what the
has.
school imposes on people.
Yeah.
Just tell you that you can either be a doctor or an engineer.
It's just like what we were saying when we were watching this movie earlier today. Imagine somebody that knows that all the time he has is 1 month.
Yeah.
So 2 things will happen to that guy. Either he's trying to buy extra time for himself or he's trying to maximize that time.
Yeah.
When as a human being, you really come to realize that, okay, wait, so this thing is limited. Now, what makes things valuable is scarcity.
Yeah.
The reason why we don't trade in sand is because you can pick sand anywhere. What human beings naturally like that thing that is hard to see.
Yeah.
So when you put things on a scale of scarcity, time is more scarce than money.
Yeah.
So that's why we always even tell ourselves normally that I would do anything
give
that I
up
should.
money for time.
Yes.
And that's why many poor persons don't understand the rich. Like,
Why you buying private jets? Why are you spending so
why
much?
is he shuttling a plane for?
Because he understands
you know,
time.
this common thing, I will just take night bus. Like, you don't
Exactly. You want to just sacrifice your life
because you're always trying to sacrifice yourself for money.
for money.
Because you've not understood why anybody should shatter a vehicle.
Sacrifice yourself, sacrifice your family, sacrifice people you love.
Yes,
because relationships. And those are things that money cannot
Those
buy.
are things that money cannot buy.
I think if you even want to even be able to put money in proper perspective, you need to even understand things that are more valuable than money in itself.
Yeah.
So the reason why somebody would be able to just give it all because of a certain amount is because he has not been able to understand that there are probably things that are more valuable than that things he's giving it all for. How much can you pay for relationships?
Yeah.
Look at even this whole thing we are doing. How did we start? It's not because imagine we just came and say, I want to carry on my money and build a this. And, we have people. I call somebody and say, hey, bro, Alpha, I want to do this.
Yeah.
He has the skills. If I really want to pay, how much can I pay?
Yeah.
Relationships. People that can do things for you, people that can speak things into your life.
And then there are some people that just know how to keep friends. It's a skill. It's something valuable. There are people that don't know how to have friends. You see people that tell you that I have friends of 10 years, I have friends of 15 years.
Exactly.
Like, I have friends of 8 years. There are people that can even keep friendship for 6 months. So that in itself is a skill. Being able to keep people, keep conversations, keep healthy relationships. These are things that you can exchange for many things that money cannot buy. You can exchange for many things that you cannot buy. Or if you are going to pay money for it, the amount of money you're going to pay for it is going to take a lot. Because what we are trying to gain is time.
Yes.
How many years is it going to take you to make that money to get that? And so look at your situation currently. What do you have? Is it the community around you? Is it the skills that you have been looking down on? What can you get together? Because there's no time. Time is going.
There's no time.
Because we are always looking at something external. Is it government?
Exactly.
Or one good way somewhere? What can you get together? I can talk. I can make people laugh.
Yeah.
Create something. The whole career path we are all going to school to learn. Somebody started it someday. So started it at a time. And there are most of the things we study in school were people's inventions.
Yeah.
Were
that was
people's
studying now.
way of expressing the value they had in themselves.
Yeah.
So someone looks at the mango tree and mango
falls and it says the law of gravity. And now we start studying.
We start having textbooks on physics, on all of that. Someone that just based on observation started making out observations that we are writing in textbooks and we are studying in school today. The Wright brothers just decided that we can make something that fly. How does someone even come up with something like that?
Yeah.
I feel like we need to do more of self-reflection, self-recognition. That's the least we do. We always recognize the good in other people. Let's see, I wish I can be this. I wish I can be that. I wish I can be that. Yeah. So, but we've not come to recognize what is it about me.
What's so special?
And in doing that self-reflection, you need to also check both the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Because many times, even the things we call weaknesses can be flipped to become strengths.
Yeah. And even the so-called strengths can be flipped to become
can also be
weaknesses.
flipped to become weaknesses. So you need to check it. What is it about God's sense? What is it about me? What is it about me? And you need to be very honest with yourself and possibly also get observation from other people. Because, like you said, the simplest things that come to you, that is your wealth. I remember I was at the bus park one day and a beggar came to ask for alms in the bus. He was speaking with very clean English. I don't even think I can speak loud that way. His English was very clear. This guy in question was looking very dirty, haggard. But I couldn't even believe that he was the person talking. I was looking at the face and is this the mouth producing the words I'm hearing? He was sounding like a radio presenter. His voice was very nice. So I called out to him. I was like, this your mouth, this your voicing can produce all the money that you're looking for. So, but for him, somebody has given him help.
Yeah, that's also one thing. Sorry for cutting you short.
Yeah.
That's also one thing. This mindset of nobody helped me. Nobody helped me. But just imagine like that movie we've been using for example. Imagine somebody just sits down and say, I have only 30 minutes left, but nobody helped me. Who will die? It's not if that would die. Because at the end of the day, when whatever happens, it's not the people that did not help that will be in the problem. It's the person in quotes that was not helped. And many times until we're able to sit down and realize nobody's coming.
Nobody's coming.
Nobody owes you anything. It's just like many times we go to New Benin, go around, you see beggars. And sometimes you just feel like, can somebody not just come and just give these beggars plenty money? Not speaking about this money thing. Or the way many Nigerians talk, when you just say that, somebody just bought a private jet of $800 million. Say, can you imagine? How many are we in Nigeria? Share that money for everybody and you see what will happen. But it really doesn't happen like that because just like you're saying, money will still end up flowing to value.
Yeah.
I usually reason it like a basin in your kitchen. Pour a lot of water inside. The water rather will flow through the channel that has been created for it. And value, majorly for people that have identified that value, is what attracts money.
Identification.
So if you carry $1 billion, how many are we in Nigeria? 200 million. Give 200 million people $1 billion. What will happen is out of that 200 million people, maybe like 20 million people in Nigeria will end up harnessing that $1 billion and the rest will be poorer than they were before that 1 billion came. Because the money has found these channels. So if you carry the seemingly richest people in the world, because, we're talking before we started, and people always have this entitlement mentality or this feeling of saying, because somebody helped them, they were opportuned.
Many people feel like the rich people
they just have one luck.
Lucky. His father was rich.
His father was rich. He gave him money.
Yes.
Okay, collect that money. It's not 1 million. Give that person $1 million. What will happen to many people is that they will end up poorer
Yeah.
Because they would have ended up creating an appetite with $1 million that they don't have the value to sustain. And just like what you told me before we started, you said being a millionaire does not mean you have 1 million. It means you can comfortably spend 1 million and reproduce it.
Yeah.
So the person is not a millionaire because 1 million entered. Is that there's an engine within that is generating 1 million.
That money.
So if you're not coming to a point, as much as we really don't want this whole thing to sound like motivational speech, this is what we live by. This is how our philosophy. And if you're not able to have something, which everybody does, but I was just buttressing the point you were saying that at the end of the day, it's about honing what you have. First of all, it's you that we place value. If I'm not ready to invest money in yourself, why should I invest money in you?
I invest in you.
When you identify something in yourself and you say, I can talk, there's nobody that was created on this earth without an advantage. I remember one time we went to Lagos and we went to buy something. I went with Moses. He's one of our friends. And we were looking good. We just dressed well, went to get it, a deep freezer. And we're coming out, 2 full-grown men in Lagos walked up to us. Okay, able-bodied everything. I thought they even wanted to offer to help us carry the fridge. Maybe for a good dash or something. The guy was like, Achema Alpha, give us something. Achema Alpha what? Somebody would say, why are you being harsh? I was just, if I didn't want to what's the word now, endorse that level of irresponsibility.
Yeah.
So when we were in the keke, because we used to say keke because the road is very bad. So when we were going home, the driver was like, now for just give those guys now. I say, because don't be everybody get waiting, go bring them money. I really blasted that man. I told him that there's nobody on this earth that is extremely disadvantaged.
Many people will be angry with this kind of statements.
Exactly.
Because some people are actually trying. And many of the time when you illustrate the problem, where exactly are you trying? Are you trying your area of strength? Or you're putting effort in an area you think you should put your effort? Because many times we are not comfortable in our own skin. So you're forcing yourself to be a doctor. So you're going to work every day. You're feeling frustrated. Many poor people feel like rich people are lazy. They feel like, what's the boss doing? He just comes to work. He just sits down. He takes money and go. The reason why you are even there, the mental process to set up that whole business or that whole place where you are working, it's a lot of mental work. It's a lot of strategy. It's a lot of risk. Valuable. That's what makes him valuable. He's producing value at a level that you are not appreciating. But it has given you an opportunity to even exchange your labor for money. So many times people are exerting energy in areas where
that's not their strength.
So that's where the frustration is coming in. You like to make people laugh, but you're trying to be an accountant.
That's your money. That's your value.
Where you see your money this way, you're going this way. So it's almost like I don't want to go all metaphysical, but you're going to a direction where you don't have head start.
You don't have an advantage.
You don't have leverage. So you're learning accounting in school.
Because that's what's in vogue.
Even our school system need to improve. You see people in class. Class is usually separated into the smart guys and the dumb guys. So the smart guys are always in front. The dumb guys are in the back. And supposedly the smart guys are going to be the ones that will be rich.
Supposedly.
The dumb guys are going to be the ones that are poor in life. That's what the school is preaching or pushing out there. But you find out that none of them are actually dumb. Because you see that the dumb guy in your class, he's the one that has to play the school drum.
Exactly.
He knows how to play the drums.
That guy is creating value.
He knows how to. He's the one that has more friends in class. He's able to interact with everybody. Even the smart guys always look down on him.
Let's even hold that thought. I will remind you. I just remember the skit I saw where I think they were flogging the children or teaching them a song. Like, whether if you don't go to school, you be a market woman or something. And I was laughing like, do you know how much market women are making? So don't worry. If you don't study, you be a market woman. You sell fish.
So that's what we are saying. We try to bring down some things. You want to end up a comedian.
Exactly. You want to end up
always telling jokes in class.
Exactly.
You want to be a comedian. Be serious with your books. Be serious with this. But that's his
advantage.
Go to school. Learn how to communicate with other people. Learn all these things you can get from school. But know where your area of strength is. When it comes to money, you must major on your strengths. You must major because you don't have the time.
You don't have the time.
You want to, and just like what we said the last time, everybody we tend to drift towards what society accepts.
Yes.
I have to mention again. Now there's the tech revolution, and everybody feels like
It must be tech.
They must be tech. They must be in the tech. Of course, you're going to use technology, but have you really evaluated that you have to be a technician?
Must you be into coding? Must you be into the technicality?
You will use it, but there are skills you have to pay for.
True.
I can't, based on what I'm doing, I can't go and start learning how to manage.
The person doing the tech, will he not eat food?
So there will be food. So when sometimes people just say future is the tech and the future is tech.
Good.
Are we going to eat it?
Are we going to eat tech?
Are we going to eat tech?
Are we going to bait with tech? Will we wear tech?
Will we wear tech? So clothing will be worn in the future. People will need entertainment in the future.
Yes.
And all these things. There will be shelter. There will be housing. There'll be all of these things. Tech will enable all of these things.
Yes.
And that's why many people are afraid with the advent of AI. Everybody's scared that, will I lose my skill? Will I lose my job? And all of that. It's the fact that you will still create value assisted by this new technology.
It will just depend on your mindset.
It depends on how you're able to package your value and know how times are changing and push this value.
Because these things will end up being, like you were saying, if you're somebody that has created that value in yourself, instead of these things to become things that scare you, you would rather now start seeing them as tools to aid
the delivery
of your gifts. Because we don't have time. Only a myopic person will fight technology on any level.
Yes.
Because any new advancement is, what did they teach us then? They taught us that, and what did they define as a machine?
Machine is anything that, let me do this. Exactly. A machine is anything that saves time, that allows you to do more work with the least human effort.
Exactly.
And this amount of time.
That's the simple definition. So you want something that, imagine what we already explained. Take your mind back to the In Time movie, analogy. You don't have all the time. You need something that you can use to create more output in a shorter period of time. Many times, even the average person too out there, that's what they are looking for. What can make their life more comfortable? What can make their life easier?
Achieve more in the shortest possible
time. And many times, no offense to anybody, but that's the difference between the rich and the poor. In the sense that if you wonder, why is this guy willing to just pay somebody 100,000? The guy doesn't want to think about it. He doesn't want the stress. Why this guy, how somebody just pay... Go and buy a private jet. All that money, no, that money can buy me this, can buy me that. Okay. But that guy can go from point A to point B in 1 hour. You go to the airport, you spend 3 hours with delayed flights, spend another. Your time, that 3 hours that pass, you will never have it again.
Yeah.
It has gone. So the point I was just trying to make is that
they're leveraging time.
Yes.
They're leveraging other people's
worth.
Skill and worth.
Because what money is supposed to end up bringing to you many times, luxury is good and pleasure is good, but ultimately, I strongly believe that money is supposed to end up bringing you more possibilities.
Yeah.
Money is supposed to be able to bring you the power of choice.
Yeah.
So because you don't have all the time to be bothering too much about it, and when you start seeing your time as important like that, then you can become purpose-driven. That term is a strong term, but when it says that, you now know that, I don't have all the time to be doing it. I have to be precise. Yes, I have to be accurate.
Very accurate.
So it's not somebody that knows that his time is saying 8 minutes. And I say, let's go for a party and go and dance for 30 minutes. I'm like, bro, parties are good, but guy, I have only 8 minutes on my clock.
The challenge many young people have is that we are looking for easy money. And it's not like money is supposed to be hard to make. It's based on what we are talking about now. Developing a skill or a gift into something that is this valuable, that is very valuable, that people can see, appreciate, and exchange money for. Many times it takes a lot of time. It takes dedication.
Yeah.
That's the hard work many young persons don't want to put in. So we look at people out there who seem to... What did he do? He just sang a song and is everywhere. You don't know the hours he has put into. You don't know the studies he has put into to hone that his singing skill into that one album that you saw, into that one track that you saw. So you go, I'm going to music. I can sing too.
Because
you saw what someone else.
Yeah.
So that hard work, it may seem tough now, but it's something that will pay in the long run. Because like we said, being wealthy is not just been having a cash out. It's
a source, a generator.
What are you a source of? What are you producing? What is coming out from me? So let that thing, and like you said, that thing cannot be taken from you.
Yes,
because another thing that comes with money is, how do I secure my money?
Yes.
Many problems.
Because it's always flowing away.
Because money is always flowing.
Yeah.
And where are you going to see? You have $1 billion. Where are you going to keep it? How do you keep it without other people knowing where it is? All those. So you have something in you that anywhere they drop you,
It will come back.
it will come back. You can reproduce that money.
Yeah.
You can reproduce that value.
Yeah.
So that is what you want to be leveraging on. That's what you want to be majoring on. What
Yeah.
is in me? What can I produce? What can I bring? So how do I become rich? I recognize that I have a value in me. And I hone that skill. I develop it. I make it the best
I
it can
major
be.
on my
I
strengths.
major on my strengths. I major on the things that come easy for me.
Yeah.
I major on the things that come easy for me. If it's talking, if it's whatever it is, no matter. Some people like to swim. You know, like some of the things we call hobbies are the leverage you already have in life. Because some people have to go through a lot to even start the process. But you just comes naturally.
Comes naturally to you. Don't have to put in too much energy.
You don't. So you can leverage that.
Yeah.
You can leverage friendship, leverage relationships. There are people in your community that can get you started. So all this waiting for...
Yes, and talking about community, talking about things that we should prioritize. Community.
Yeah.
The power of community, power of people.
Yeah.
It's still funny how our society, people value money more than the things that money cannot buy.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
Because
very wrong.
you should value people. Money cannot buy anything. Somebody can be dying now. What if there's only one doctor in a room and somebody is dying? And the person says, I will give you 1 billion. The doctor says, I'm not going to treat him.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? At that point, money is useless.
Or you're in the desert. What will all your money do?
Well, can you eat your money to live? So we should also be able to pursue, as we've already established now that this is how you make money, create value. But we should also be trying to put money in its place. Because that way, priority helps you to be able to channel your resources, your time, your energy into what will become valuable for you in the long run. So when you prioritize things, your own well-being, family, don't sacrifice yourself for money, your health.
Yeah.
We are living in a world where not be money, I will do anything. You see your
do
people,
anything,
you will do anything, no wala.
Because you have defined money to be that paper that the banks give you.
Yes, you are still seeing that thing as the money.
Was it 2 years ago now when they changed the Naira? They changed the face of some of the bills, the Naira bills. I think for it's dawned on people that so this paper money in my hand,
it's not as powerful as I thought it was.
It's just declared illegitimate.
Exactly.
And a new. So that thing you are holding in your hand, that people we do everything to get, is not the real thing.
One decree can just render
it useless. So you must have something in you that no man can take from you. That is the real value.
Before we start rounding off this thing you said just reminded me of a story. So Germany, maybe one day we'll do something that will bring us into the history of Germany. So then it was called the Weimar Republic.
Yeah.
So there's a very popular story. There was a time when they were going through what they call hyperinflation. You must have heard of it, where you say that one note, a country will have 1 trillion of one note.
Yeah, like what happened to Zimbabwe too in Africa.
So a lady she went to buy bread. She went to the bakery and she went with a wheelbarrow of money. She went in to get the bread. When she came out, all the money was on the floor and the wheelbarrow was taken. And it was a very rude shock for them. What happened to them then was, at the end of the day, people started realizing the real things that are valuable in life.
Yeah.
That it was not paper money.
It was not paper.
Because it is things that are intrinsically valuable.
Yeah.
Intrinsically valuable.
We cannot say everything on set.
Yeah.
So one of the things that can really help people to understand is really going back to the history. How come we are using paper money? How come we are using these things as medium of exchange?
Understand concepts so that you can bring them to practicality.
Yeah, so these are things that many times we don't even want to. That's why I said the school need to do more in this regard. Let's know when you say this paper is money, what makes it that the paper I have in my own house is not money? So let's know the history, because many times we are chasing something, we don't even know what it is. When you leave this country, that's the first time you realize that, Naira, it's not really worth anything in another space. You have come into another domain, you have come into another authority. So you now realize you have to exchange that money or that value now for another currency. So you start realizing that these things that are controlling your lives, you need to have something that is universal. You need to have something that you can exchange
that's universal,
anywhere.
That's the word.
You can exchange anywhere, because you have put in a lot of work here and you've earned the Naira. Then you go to another space, and when you're exchanging it, and because of the exchange rate or how that money is perceived, all your efforts is discounted.
True.
So you have to see that it's not the paper.
And
it's what you are providing.
Before we start rounding off, we will not fail to mention how, as much as we're saying get value, stealing money can never make you valuable.
Can never be
But
valuable.
people that still, we must touch this topic before our brothers that are doing the internet ones or twos. It's that thing is it's like you use the word the corruption of your soul. That's a very deep and thoughtful phrase. But the idea is that person is even defeating or reducing whatever amount of value that may have even existed in them, in the sense that they are shutting down their faculty for production. So what happens is that even if this guy touches 10 million today, he's poorer for it.
He's poorer for it, and there's also an attitude for money. There's an attitude to keep money. Many of the people, like I was saying, the young people, they don't want to do the hard work to harness the skills. Also, the hard work of handling money. Many persons cannot comfortably sit with 500 million.
That money must go down.
That money must go down to
an amount that they will feel comfortable
with.
Yeah.
So, can you comfortably handle 500 million, 1 billion?
Oh, you do it
without
the money telling you what to do with it.
Without the money inspiring
you. So
some people, 1 million naira, they already gone crazy.
They've gone crazy.
So for them, some of those persons, they have developed an appetite that they cannot even give, because anything it takes time. Revalue takes time. So they've put their appetite at an unhealthy level, where somebody is buying a drink of 1 million naira for a night, just one bottle of drink, and he's not producing as much to be able to sponsor that lifestyle. What's left for him to do? He's going to look for ways to steal other people's value. So, and they feel like this is a work.
This is work.
But one thing must know that value, or whatever you think
you can't pass it to another person. You can't
reproduce it. It's also illegal.
Yeah.
And it's reducing your human worth.
Yes.
It's reducing your human worth, your capacity for production. How long are you going to do this? By the time can you retire with that?
No. How sustainable is that?
How sustainable is that? How reproducible is it? So when we even say people should stop these things, it's not because you will not get money in the short run. It's the fact that it's not sustainable. You'll be poorer for it. You'll be worse off.
Yes.
So because in your older age, what are you going to be doing? Will you continue this line of action? Are you going to keep doing this?
How sustainable is it?
So many of them feel like, I'll have this money and settle down. It's going to be tough because you don't have the attitude to manage wealth.
True.
You have never grown wealth.
True.
You have never grown money from 1 naira to 2 naira to 3 naira. You have never seen money grow. You have never had that patience.
True.
And you have developed an appetite.
That whatever money you haven't been able to handle, you will crush it down.
You will crush it. So even if someone come and give you 1 billion, that's just one week money for you. That's 1 week money for you. So that's why many young or poor people should not blame rich people. Like they had rich parents. How many rich people that had rich parents are able to harness money? If they give you $1 million, what will you do? $1 billion is almost 2 billion naira.
Yeah.
What will you do with it?
And finally, before, I know we said we're rounding up, but when you mentioned that, something came to my mind, talking about the role of family in teaching about money and passing wealth.
Very important.
I remember when I read the story of J.P. Morgan, I watched the story of J.P. Morgan, one of the richest men in America at the time. This was probably like a century ago.
Yeah.
Close over 100 years or more. It should be more than 100 years. As at then, you can imagine how much $1 million was.
Yeah.
His father would carry $1 million cash to the house and give to a 10-year-old boy to count the money. Now, you can just imagine what that did to his psychology. And that man ended up becoming one of the richest of today. There's still a bank, JP Morgan and Chase.
There's JP Morgan. Even in our economic textbook, we study things like Morganization. There are concepts in
concepts, exactly.
These are family.
This was something that his family
trades or family.
So first of all, it's even a 40 mentality. This inability to transfer wealth to another generation.
Yeah.
The inability to transfer knowledge, financial knowledge to another generation is wrong.
Yes.
What the wealthy do is that they're able to sit their children down.
Even if how this thing is being done.
That's why you see a company that they'll tell you that this company is since 1700. How is this company still standing? The children's children are still running that company.
Yeah.
This is why stealing cannot work.
It cannot work.
You cannot. What do you want to transfer to somebody?
You are cheating a generation.
You are cheating
your lineage because many people that you are competing with and you are comparing yourself with, their grandparents, their parents before have given them some level of leverage. So you are cheating your own generation.
Yes.
You're not giving them that leverage. When they're coming to meet nothing, you're starting afresh again. Whereas some people are already starting on 500 years of investment.
Exactly.
Some people are starting on 300, 100, just like that. So you're coming and you are squandering even what was handed over to
Just
you.
imagine.
So for those of you who haven't given anything. So we must learn to build value and transfer that value. Value
Yes.
never dies.
Yes.
It never goes out. So it can move from one form to another. So many of the programmers that left BlackBerry, or other technologies, they transited to
other companies,
to other technologies, and they are better for it.
Yeah.
So I think we have said many.
We have said
a lot of key points.
Most. Yeah. So basically, what we just said is, money is a medium of exchange. Money is basically about value.
Yeah.
You have to learn to trap value. You have to learn to prioritize what's important.
You have to build your skills.
Yes, build your skills. Know what you are about.
Priority.
So
build networks.
I think we've had a very awesome conversation.
Yeah.
We don't really have all the time to say everything we want to say, but like we said, it's good to go back.
Yeah.
Check out other things. Check out talks about money. Yeah, you don't have to make it so official so you don't get discouraged. Read up one or two things.
Yeah.
It's very nice. So I think we've done a very good one again here today, Godsend. So
nice.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much, everybody. This was an awesome time on the Unplugged podcast today. We are sure you learned one or two. So do well to like, subscribe, comment, share the link, ask questions, see what you like that we said, contribution.
We want to learn from you.
Yes, we want to learn from you. We want to know what you have to say. And thank you very much. Stay unplugged.
Stay unplugged.
Got me locked up in the matrix. They try to wrong me.